Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, whenever you're watching this. Marc de Bruin from Counselling, supervision.com.au. Ran a group supervision last Friday. This is in 2025, actually. I'm not sure when you're watching this video. It's winter in Queensland, so it's Australia. It's a bit cold. We Queenslanders don't suffer the cold very well. At least I don't, as an import Queenslander. Hey, but ran a group supervision session on burnout prevention strategies and burnout as such, which in counselling industry, social work, psychology, um, occupational therapy, all those helping professions is fairly high. I don't want to show you the stats because I would have to look them up, but I know that in our industry, pretty much all the books in the literature warn us for fairly high burnout rates in counseling, specifically psychotherapy, because of the work we do. So it's always a good thing to make sure we don't burn out too quickly. Now, the point that I wanted to make with this one is a personal experience that I had recently. I was just way too busy, all self-inflicted in a way, but to the point that I was booked out 4, 5, 6 weeks in advance nearly, which sounds really cool and was one of those things that I was looking forward to when I started my counseling practice. So that'll be the day when I have to say no to clients because I'm too busy. Now that I've actually reached that point after so many years, it doesn't feel good at all. It makes me feel like I was in a straitjacket and couldn't move. I was looking at my calendar and no room to move, no opportunities to say yes to other opportunities or clients that wanted to come in at short notice, regular clients. Didn't feel good. So I started to look at that and felt really pressured, which didn't have a good effect on my health. So I was definitely on the way to, burning out is maybe too dramatic, but I wasn't doing well. The body was tired. I was pressured, stressed, whatever you want to call it, overwhelmed. And those are signs that I don't like and generally want to work against. So I thought, let's run a session on that. I've actually taken measures now, so I'm doing all right. Getting quieter, making more time for myself. Wednesdays are my day off now. At least I try to as much as possible, and some other adaptations. So don't worry about me. But it was an opportune moment to run a group supervision session on burnout. So what I'll do is run you through the topics that we ran through in the supervision session as well, and give you hopefully a couple of things to think about when it comes to your own supervision, your self-supervision journey. So what I ask my people to do, and I'll actually share my screen, so I'll have to do this right. I've got multiple screens here. Make sure I've got the right one. I think I do. So there's that little burnout scorer, if you will. So take some time, maybe pause the video. I won't keep it too long here, but pause the video and please go through this questionnaire for yourself. So from a 1 to 5 rating, a Likert scale, 5 being very true, 1 not being true at all or not at all. Rate yourself on the following items in that scale. And then once you're done, come back. And like I said, press pause because I'll keep talking, but press pause and give yourself some time to do this one. It'll be an interesting one. So I hope you pressed pause and actually answered it. I'll keep talking for this one. So now, ideally, the one question, number 7, is reverse scored, so lower is better. So if there's 9 questions where you could score 5 max, so it's 45 plus 1 is 46. So 46 is maximum score. I was interested in finding out what you would score at, and feel free to email me or comment it in the YouTube comments below. The first time I did this one, I came out of 39. There were a couple of tricky points in there when I look at this list. Don't think I felt very emotionally and mentally available for clients once I felt so pressured. I'm pretty good at setting boundaries, but I was struggling a little bit saying no, especially when it came to corporate clients or individual clients that I'd seen very often. That's 9 as well. So 9 was fairly low, and 10 was potentially a little bit lower as well. So I only came out at 39. It was an interesting one for me to go, something needs to happen here. So I'm really interested in what you came out at. If you come out at 46, you have my admiration, and you have my my respect, because that's really good. If you got lower, look, don't worry. It's just time to do something about it, and potentially you're in that category, like I was, like need to make some changes. So I'll stop sharing now, because just it's more a self-reflection exercise for you. So what I'd like to know is, what are you going to do about it? Yeah, that's the whole point. So we'll go through that one. I think what we discussed in my group supervision session is you want to be aware of key factors, or key things that could lead to burnout and fatigue for you. Now, they might be different for each and every one of us. So each and every one of us will have different signs that lead you to feeling fatigued or burnt out. It could be irritability, it could be avoidance, it could be overworking, it could be all of that stuff. And what are the signs? Is it exhaustion, cynicism? Are you not as effective as you normally are? Is your brain space elsewhere? So, what are your fatigue signs and burnout signs? Then, what do you do to stay resilient on a day-to-day basis? So, what is your resilience action plan, your practice plan, your daily practice plan for resilience? What are you doing? What keeps you grounded in between sessions? How do you prepare for a day? Are you still in line with your values? Is your mindset okay? Are you still mentally agile enough? All those questions. Now, boundary and role clarity. Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing, or am I trying to go beyond? What is your boundary struggle, if there is one? Role diffusion, potentially. I had a supervision client come to me who was really overcommitting, and she admitted that. Overcommitting to clientele, being available when she really shouldn't have been, on weekends, after hours. And the question she would ask clients after the session is, when would you like to come see me again? Or when would you like to speak next? And the clients were free to virtually dictate, within reason, but virtually dictate when they wanted to come back in again, which didn't really wasn't really helpful for her, because it led to her just being available pretty much 7 days a week. And the clients were happy with that, because they could come in on a Saturday or whenever, or 8 or 9 p.m. But it led her to just having an overflow week. So that question didn't really work for her. The boundaries weren't clear. And I've had multiple client sessions with supervision clients on that topic as well. It's like, are you pretty clear on the boundaries? That clients can't just come in whenever they want. They can come in whenever you say that they come in. Anyway, there's lots more to say about that one. So boundaries and role clarity. And the last one is, what's your self-care strategy? What's your sustainable self-care strategy that you use for yourself? And what does realistic self-care look like? We all know what self-care looks like, but what's realistic for you during a busy week? And not try to fall for things like perfection and doing it all perfectly. So those were things that we discussed. And ultimately, we ran an exercise, which, again, on top of this little self-checker, the scorer that I asked you to do, I'd love you to do this one as well, and potentially give me some results, or send me what you think worked for you, what were the answers for you. So there's 3 categories in this thing. So this is kind of a resilience mapping plan, or a mapping exercise, if you will. So on a piece of paper, big piece potentially, or just an A4 size, write 3 things: triggers, warning signs, and counter moves. So what are your triggers? What drains you? That would be question number 1. What absolutely drains you? Could it be a high client load, for instance, the complexity of the client presentations? Could it be potentially family pressures that you got going on, financial pressures in your life, business pressures? It could be any type of stuff. We came up with a whole bunch of examples in our supervision session, in the group session. But what are those for you? So what are triggers? What drains your battery? Because if your battery is drained, it could be health stuff. You might have fairly limited health capabilities for whatever reason. So you might already be tired before you even start your day, because of health concerns, or illness, or whatever's going on. So that might be a trigger, for you not functioning well. So write as many of those down. Maybe use ChatGPT to help you with that one. Like, what could be triggers for burnout? It'll come up with a whole bunch of them. You check off which ones suit you, or which ones sit well with you. Once you've done that, the second list would be what would be the warning signs. So you got the triggers that can set you off. What are the warning signs that actually come in there as well for you? Could be things like trouble sleeping. It could be things like getting snappy with your family, with your partner, with your kids. It could be feeling hopeless. It could be reaching for a drink a little bit more often, or other stimulants or relaxants. It could be more coffee than you normally would drink. What are you noticing in yourself as warning signs for you being on that track to fatigue and burnout? Things that you normally do differently and now don't, the bad coping strategies, if you will. Again, come up with as many. We came up with a whole bunch in our group supervision session based on input from all 10 people. What are they for you? I know for me, overthinking is definitely a warning sign when I'm just constantly ruminating about stuff. Sleeping gets affected quite quickly. I have a tendency to start eating things that are not necessarily good for me. The comfort food stuff or the extra biscuits that I might eat, or the pastries, those sort of things. Another warning sign is to stop doing things that normally work for me. So to minimize or decrease exercise or decrease going for a walk. Those are definitely warning signs, because apparently I'm then picking something else that seems more comfortable, or whatever you want to call it. So you might have a few of those. And then the last column or the last item to look at are the counter moves. Like, what do you do in order to counter those warning signs and get back to a level of professional resilience? Could be things like going for a walk, peer debriefing, a little bit of black humor together with some colleagues and talk about some client cases. It could be journaling for you. It could be shoring up your boundaries to make them a little bit more strict. Go for supervision. Come talk to me, please. Or scheduling breaks into your day. What will help you to get those warning signs back to normal? I know when I was too pressured, I normally would have a routine where I do about a 20 to half an hour mindfulness meditation every morning. That's at least 3, 4 times a day during the week. Uh, that didn't happen for a while because I just thought I was too busy and needed to do my emails and get ready for client sessions, and I would shove them to the side. I have restarted those. I can proudly admit and announce, and I'm going to stick to them as much as possible because they do set me up for the day and make me feel a lot better. So, what is it for you? Again, write down as many as you can. Maybe get good old chat involved as well to find a few counter moves and see if you can start adding them. So that would be the takeaway for this video as well. Again, I'm going to shorten this one up a little bit. Make sure you put in micro self-care moments during the day. Take a break, grab a coffee, go for a walk, step out into nature, do some breathing, whatever it is for you. At the end of the day, Martin Seligman's 3 blessings exercise. Write down, or at least consciously think about 3 things that you were grateful for, appreciative of, and 3 things that went well. What went well that day? That really works for me. I haven't done it for a while, but I used to do that religiously. I tend to think about it now before I go to sleep, but I used to write them down fairly religiously, and that made a massive difference because it got my brain into thinking about the good stuff more than anything else. Obviously, digital detoxes definitely help reduce screens, switch off your emails, text messages after work. That becomes your private time. Put your phone away. If you got a work phone, don't look at it. Things like resilience thinking, reframe things. That's the classic, obviously. Reframe them as feedback, not as a challenge. It's like, or not as a failure. It's just a piece of feedback you're getting. Set your professional boundaries. Discuss them with me, but definitely commit to them for yourself. Don't let your boundaries slip because they're important. I don't do evening and weekend work anymore. It's not that I'll never do it, but for now, with the way my work week has been set up, I don't do anything after 6 anymore, unless an extreme emergency, and definitely not the weekends. The weekends are mine, and I want to keep them mine. I've done Saturday mornings for a while, and I did do 6 and 7 p.m.s for a long time. Don't want to do them anymore. I'm not worth much after 6 anymore. I just want to sit and read and just take it easy. Supervision and support, definitely come to me if you got a question. Could be peer support. It's a good thing to discuss. You might not even have a question. We could just exchange experiences, which could be useful. And I can share from other clients that have gone through the same thing. Do what I would call an energy audit. What gives you energy? What drains your energy? And obviously try and do much more of the former. What gives you energy? And have a return to self ritual at the end of the day is always a good idea. That's something I've done, not religiously. I'm not a real rituals person, but I do like to literally close the door on my practice. I practice from home, but this door goes shut. I just shut it. And for me, that's kind of a moment where I go like, okay, that's the work day done. Close the door. I'll be back tomorrow. And it's kind of saying goodbye to the work day. It could be anything. It could be putting on a candle for yourself. It could be just, I don't know, whatever sort of ritual you might have, a little ceremony to say goodday. It could be switching your laptop off. It doesn't have to be all that beautiful and ceremonial. But what is your little closing off ritual? For some, it might be mindful breathing. Anyway, so come up with something that what are your triggers, warning signs, counter moves. See if you can come up with some sort of resilience practice plan that works for you, so you can start getting that in place, because it definitely works. And like I said, we are so prone to burning out real quick in this industry if we work with multiple clients, that it's worthwhile doing so. And let me know if you got questions about that one. Happy to keep talking. It's worthwhile talking about it. And yeah, that's it really for today. Just wanted to give you that real quick overview. So if you got questions, find me, LinkedIn, Facebook, send me an email, marc@counsellingsupervision.com.au, and I look forward to talking to you again. I'll do another group supervision summary next time around. I still have 2 to go, but at least this one will go up. So thanks for listening, and I hope to see you soon. Cheers.